A Black family, Deontay Williams, Bianca Claiborne, and their children were stopped by Tennessee authorities while traveling to a funeral in Chicago. Reportedly, they were stopped for a tinted window and for traveling in the left lane while not actively passing. Authorities' initial search turned up 5 grams of marijuana, an amount classified as a Class A misdemeanor in Tennessee. Court records from Coffee County, Tennessee, show both Claiborne and Williams were charged on February 21st with simple possession or casual exchange. Williams is still upset over how authorities allegedly handled the arrest and the circumstances for why he was arrested in the first place. Both Williams and Claiborne were tested for marijuana, but only Williams was positive. Per Williams' account, the Department of Child Services bombarded Claiborne's vehicle while she was on her way to bail him out, and they were eventually accused of doing meth and fentanyl. The couple was baffled as to how they could have possibly been tested positive, as neither used either drug. They would go on to take 2 additional tests, and both would render negative test results for meth and fentanyl. The experience was traumatizing for both. Williams alleges that the couple's youngest child is 5 months old and was stripped from the mother's arms, and that law enforcement tried to make Claiborne take her urine sample in the car while they stood and monitored. Williams spent thousands on lawyers and fees, and a judge released the kids back to Williams, but he believes officials' actions were unacceptable. The family was finally reunited after 2 months of separation. Journalist Dorothy Roberts wrote an outstanding article reporting on the problematic child welfare system in May of last year. Her article is entitled, "How the Child Welfare System is Silently Destroying Black Families," and it is featured in an independent publication called In These Times. I encourage you to read it in its entirety, but I'll touch on the high points. The findings of the research and statistics she compiled are both enlightening and highly disturbing. The child welfare system is a $30 billion apparatus that monitors, controls, and punishes families in the same Black communities, systematically subjugated by police and prisons. State-level child protective services agencies investigate the families of 3.5 million children every year, with 1 in 3 children nationwide being subject to investigation by the time they reach 18. A 2021 study of large U.S. counties revealed that Black children had consistently high rates of investigation, reaching 63.3% in Black children in Maricopa, County, Arizona. Every year, CPS removes about 500,000 children from their homes, half through judicial proceedings and the other half through informal safety plans. The racial disparities seen in CPS investigation are mirrored in the national foster care population, with Black children grossly overrepresented. Recent foster care rates for U.S. children at 576 per 100,000 are about the same as incarceration rates for U.S. adults. Black and Native children are more than twice as likely as white children to experience the termination of both parents' rights. Child welfare investigations are essentially stop and frisk family surveillance, without the safeguards of law and public scrutiny that are present in the criminal context. By federal edict, every state must identify people who work in professions that put them in contact with children and require them to report suspected child abuse and neglect to government authorities. Providers of social services direct state surveillance against poor and low-income families, especially Black families. Mandated reporting thwarts the potential for schools, healthcare clinics, and social programs to be caring hubs of community engagement that non-coercively help families meet their material needs, and it wastes millions of dollars investigating baseless allegations. Instead, these professionals divert struggling families into a system with the potential to destroy them.